Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Hertz. I am professor of entrepreneurship and management at Miramar College and San Diego State University. And today we're going to be talking about resumes, writing a 21st century resume that really helps you to stand out from the competition. So I've been teaching people how to write resumes for years and years, over 15 years, plus close to 30 years in business. But I wanted to state that the advice that I'm going to be giving you and the recommendations, the guidelines that I'll be giving you in this video are not based solely on my experience. The recommendations that we make are based on what the majority of businesses out there are looking for in a resume. So that said, one of the guidelines that I'll give you is, or one of the recommendations is, you have to keep a resume to one page. And that's true. Most businesses, the majority of businesses out there, want to see a one-page resume. However, if there is a recruiter or a business that says, hey, we want to see a two-page resume, you give them what they want, right? You obviously give them what they want. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the PowerPoint for resumes together. You can see that here. You should be able to access this in Blackboard. If you have any trouble with that, let me know. But they should all be available there for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll go through it this way. So first of all, this is based on this particular chart that you're looking at here is based on a 2018 job outlook survey from the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And they asked employers, what is it that you're looking for on a student resume? What skills are you hoping to find or hoping to glean that a student has when you're hiring a student or a recent graduate? And these are the top 10 attributes that employers are looking for. They want you to be able to work in a team, to have those problem-solving skills, communication skills, written, verbal, leadership, strong work ethic, et cetera, et cetera. Now, these are soft skills, right? These are soft skills. However, when we're looking for these skills, we don't want to see them listed on a resume. We want to, you have to show the reader of the resume that they possess these skills. You don't just tell them. Obviously, if you have a list of skills written out like this, anyone could put that. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. So where you show that you possess these skills, I'll show you in the resume, is going to be in the experience section in the job duties. You can also find sometimes ways to put it in there in the education section. And I think it's worth noting that most employers only spend, or recruiters only spend, about 15 seconds on average looking at a resume. So you really need to be able to grab them quickly. So that said, resumes, like I said before, are one page unless otherwise noted. And that's not more than one page, and that's not less than one page. That's one page. Now, if you don't have enough experience or education to fill up a page, we'll talk about some things that you can do to kind of fill up that page if you have too much white space. But most of us have the problem of having too much experience, and then it's all about kind of paring down, cutting back, and only including that information or that experience that really sets us apart, that makes us look good to the employer. I really highly recommend that you don't use those templates for resumes. Most of them are just bad, and they have things in there that you really shouldn't be putting. So you should be using tabs to make the information stand out. Don't make bulleted lists, indent so that we can see what the most important information is. Make sure that we have spaces in between different sections so that it's easy on the eyes, especially considering that most of the time when recruiters are reviewing these resumes, they may be looking at hundreds of resumes. And their goal is really to see which ones they can eliminate. And we're going to try to make sure that yours is not the one that's eliminated. So in terms of organization, the section should be included in order of relatedness to the career objective. So if your experience shows that you possess the knowledge, skills, and ability for that particular job, put the experience first. If your education better shows it, then put the education first. Oftentimes, a lot of us will be, maybe we have 10 years experience working in food service, but we're trying to get a job in human resource management. If that's the case, put your education first because you can show the classes that you've taken, etc. Stick with 12-point font, no tiny fonts, no italicized. The only exception to that is the name and address block. Use a slightly larger font. You can boldface it, considering using the small caps feature. Anything to make it stand out, right? Your name needs to stand out. Now remember, you can't include a photo on a resume because of potential for discrimination by employers. However, most employers are going to be, after they look at your resume, once they decide that they want to move forward with you, they will Google you and they'll be going to your LinkedIn. So it's a good idea to put a link to that LinkedIn page. And I'll tell you how to do that here in a little bit. If it's an online resume, if you're submitting it via the email or online, then you'll put a link. If you're giving them a paper resume, you should use a QR code, and I'll show you how to do that. And make sure that the email address that you include is professional. I seriously got this email, partychica@gmail.com. It was very similar to that on a resume that somebody had recently actually submitted for me, for my company. So you don't want to do that. You want to have a professional email address. Now, in terms of the name and address block at the top of the resume, it's up to you whether or not you include the address. We don't mail out potential job offers or things like this anymore. We communicate mostly via email or via phone when we're recruiting and selecting candidates. And so make sure that you have your email address and your phone number. Other than that, it's up to you whether or not you want to include your physical address. All right, you do need to include an objective statement. Every resume needs one of these. I've talked to several recruiters that said that they will throw away a resume if it does not have an objective statement because it just shows that you're lazy, right? You didn't want to change your resume for each job. And I've had a lot of students over the years who say, "Oh, I don't want to limit myself. I'll take whatever job they're looking for at a company." But honestly, don't make the recruiter do the work for you. Make it easy. Oh, okay, we see that this person is applying for this particular job. Be as specific as you can of the objective statement. If you can put the company name and the title of the job you're looking for, that's great. And make sure in that objective statement, you talk about what you can do for the company, not what the company can do for you. So if you look at this example here, this is an objective statement I got from a student, a position in which I can gain experience in business management. This is a bad objective statement. I've seen so many of these. It's horrible. Even if this is true, don't admit it. This is not the time you should be telling your deep, dark secrets in the resume. No, you should tell us, not that you're going to go come work for our company and then get some experience and then leave. That's bad. Instead, this is a much better objective statement. A business management position in which I can use my skills acquired through my education and experience to assist your organization in effectively motivating its employees. Even better if you could name the organization and name that position particularly if you have it, right? Okay. In the education section, always highlight the degree first, not the university, not the college, not the dates you've attended college, not the date that the degree was awarded. You do not put dates on there at all. We don't want to know how long it took you to get your degree. We don't want to know when you graduated. In fact, it gives us information about a protected status, which is your age, if you put things like your, the date that you got the degree. So it's so much better to have no dates on there unless you have not yet completed the degree. So if you have not completed the degree, and many of us are in that situation right now, definitely include the degree as if you were awarded the degree, but at the bottom you put degree expected date or completion expected, something like this, and then the date. No high school in there. Only include GPA if it's impressive. Impressive is 3.0 or higher. And then for the most part, list the degrees in reverse chronological order, unless there's a particular degree that really is relevant or salient towards the position to which you're applying. Now, if you don't have enough information on that particular resume, or if there's too much white space right on your resume, consider having a heading career-related coursework, or you can even have another heading. I think on the next page I put courses completed. So career-related coursework would be topics that you've already covered in the courses that you've completed. So maybe you've talked about cross-cultural communication, team building, writing a business plan, a marketing plan, training, development. This is excellent. This is excellent way to show the kinds of things that you learn, particularly if the job will need you to use some of these skills. Or you can put courses completed. This is also excellent if you've completed several courses towards your degree, business comm, marketing, business plan development, et cetera, et cetera. Just don't write out BUSE 100 or BUSE 119. We don't know what that means in a company, and every college is different. Don't make us go look it up. Again, keep it easy for them, right? So I'd like you to critique this. What do you not like about this? Take a look at it for a moment. Well, I hope that you notice we have the dates of attendance. We should not have that. That followed by the college. Then way down here, the major. I don't even know what the degree is. And then a very low GPA. Better would be Associate of Science degree in Business Administration, then the college, then a high GPA if you have it, then when the degree is expected. Okay, much better. All right, in terms of work experience, you put the job title first, not the organization, not the dates. And then you follow that with examples of job duties. These should be exciting or interesting or relevant information that really shows the kind of impressive things that you did at the company, and 3 or 4 of those. Now, I'm going to show you a website. Give me just a moment here if I have to give you a new share. Let's see here. I'm going to give you a new share, and I'm going to show you. Sorry, we're not going to do YouTube. I'm going to show you ONET. It's onetonline.org. So it's onetonline.org. If that worked. Apologize. There it is, onetonline.org. And here is a wonderful database that gives you a whole bunch of sample job duties for different careers. So let's say that your last career was as a, human resource manager. Can't see what I'm typing in here. Human resource manager. Then you go ahead and click on that. And then here are 24 of the tasks that most HR managers in the United States do on a daily basis. So this is, again, a database. It's a government-run website of all of the different people who work as HR managers or whatever job title that you had. And then here are their things, are their job duties. So this is could be really helpful to help you. I mean, you can even do a copy and paste of a different job duty, showing them what kind of experience you have. Okay. All right. Make those job duties terse, no extra words. And remember, these are bullets, so they don't have periods on them. Start each job duty with an action verb. Don't get stuck in a rut. Never use the same verb twice for one job. And make the job duties results oriented. Give us an example of scope, size, or scale. Okay. So how many, how much, how often? This is a great example. So so this particular job, it looks like they were a customer service agent, trained 30 customer service agents each month on telephone etiquette, resulting in an increase in productivity of 10% over 3 months. That's wonderful. At least one of the job duties per job should give us some number, some idea of scope, size, or scale. And if you can include results, increase in productivity, even better. Okay. Again, remember, these are the attributes employers are seeking on your resume. These are the things they want to find. These are the skills they want to know if you possess. So find a way to tell them that you have the ability to work in a team. Writing a job duty, like on the last page, trained 30 customer service agents, tells me that you can work in a team, you can problem solve, you have leadership abilities, et cetera, et cetera. You have communication skills. That's the kind of things you want to be showing them, right? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So writing a good job duty, start with your action verb, like we said before. Add some sort of how often, how much, how long, how many. Add some results and statistics if possible. So here's a good example of a work experience that someone had as a marketing coordinator in San Diego. And it tells about the kind of things that he or she did. You don't have to have numbers in every single job duty, but at least 1 or 2 in there is good. And if you can put results, excellent. One thing I did want to say about this, If it's a job that's past, you use past tense. If it's present, you use present tense. Oh, and I did want to say one other thing about this as well. I always have students who say, oh, it's not possible for me to get any numbers. I don't have any numbers from the company. You know how many people you talk to in a day. You know approximately how much cash you handled. You know these kind of things. And you can take any job that you could have possibly ever had, and you can show that you gained these skills. I don't care if you were a cashier at a hot dog stand. You can show that you gained the skills that they're looking for at that particular job. And you can tell us, was it busy? Were you handling a lot of, customer service for a lot of people, or was it a few? Tell me that you're now detail oriented because you, did this, that, or the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope that's clear. Okay, cool. Be careful including activities, organizations, interests. In that, we don't want any demographic information on there, anything that's protected, gender, religious affiliation, nationality, family status, et cetera, et cetera. Be very careful. If an employer gets a resume with that information on it, they should technically throw it away, and you don't want that to happen. Also, remember, if this is a good way to show that you have those characteristics that the employers are seeking, like we talked about before, then maybe include it. If not, leave it off, right? In terms of skills, only put a skills section if you were not able to to say that you possessed one of the skills up in the job duties or the experience section. This is a good section for putting things like you're bilingual. Don't say my mother tongue or my native language or I was born in here, my first language is this, because national origin is a protected status. We don't want to put that, right? But if you have computer skills, if you are bilingual, if you have any hard verifiable skills, put them here. Don't include any soft skills, right? All of those wonderful soft skills that we talked about before that we want to see that you have, we want them in the job duty sections. We want you to show that you possess these skills, not telling us. Anyone could just tell us they had them. It's irrelevant. Don't include the phrase references available upon request. That's assumed, of course. If we want references, you'll give them to us. Have a document ready in case they ask for it, a one-page separate document that looks like this. But don't, and make sure that the name block matches the resume as well. But don't include it unless they ask for it. Oh, and I wanted to say one thing about your name. So a lot of people, and maybe we should do this right now. Well, as soon as we're done with this, presentation, I really want you to Google your name. Type your name into Google and see what comes up. You should be coming up in the first 1 or 2 pages. If you're not, if it's somebody else and you have a very common name or you have a name of a celebrity or something like this, I would recommend that the name that you put on your resume is something that's less common or that you could potentially get filled up with Google. So consider including, maybe something like your middle name, right? Joe Thomas student. And then that will go on your resume. That will also go on your LinkedIn. And that'll go on all of your online materials. We're going to talk about how to build the LinkedIn and how to develop your online presence in a subsequent video. But just make sure that while you're doing your resume that you get that name right now, right? Okay. In terms of letters of recommendation, it's a good idea to have a couple of letters of recommendation in case they request them, in case the employee requests them. Make sure when you ask for a letter, include your resume, tell them what you need the letter of recommendation for. A lot of people will ask that you write the LOR for them, and then they can kind of modify it, tweak it if need be. Make sure that you're asking for an LOR from the appropriate person. That means people that you've worked with, people that you've worked for, professors, employers, people who are well respected in the community. I honestly got an LOR for a potential employee from his mother. Obviously did not carry a lot of weight and he didn't get the job. So yeah. All right. Consider using a QR code instead of a link. If you are handing in a paper resume, a QR code just helps the reader access a link or a website rather online, and they can scan the QR code using their phone or the tablet or whatever they have. So only include a link if it is if it is going to be submitted online. If not, use a QR code. The QR code should take the person to either your LinkedIn profile, or if you have a professional website, that's fine. To create a QR code, if you've never done it before, it's really easy. Just go onto Google, type in free QR code creator, and then cut and paste your LinkedIn URL to the to that site, and they'll generate a QR code for you, which you can then put on your resume however you like. All right, great. I think that's pretty much it. I hope that you have that you write a good resume. I hope that you get chosen for the jobs for which you're applying. And if you have any questions, let me know. But I'm sure that hopefully you'll make a few changes. I hope this was helpful. And if you are in one of my classes and your resume is part of the assignment, make sure to upload the resume to Blackboard prior to the date that it's due, either as a Word or a PDF attachment. PDF is better. It shows up a little bit better, but Word works as well. But please make sure that you include all of that you formulate the resume the way that we spoke of. Include the QR code on the resume. Even if you don't have a LinkedIn profile yet, just put a placeholder there for now. Later, we can modify that when we actually build those LinkedIn pages. What else did I want to tell you? Well, I suppose that's it. Good luck on your resumes. Thanks very much. Take care.